bunch of UN stuff. But then they also like 40 people in airstrikes. Again, this is like, what is this? The past day. This is in a day. I love it, just reiterated his demand. It's like, I'll say it again. Don't make me say it again. Can you guess what the first news story is don't look at it?
Is it about the debate?
No.
Is it about education?
Kind of.
Kind of? Yeah. Let's get to it.
We always talk about Israel. We always start with Israel. It's the most important country in the world, in my opinion. Which is funny because it's not a country. Okay. So Israel attacked another school. Just like classic behavior.
How many schools have they hit now?
I'm just surprised that Palestine has that many schools.
Have you?
Because if they're hitting one a day, like what have we got?
Well, have you heard that the Gaza population, I think it might be the Palestinian population in general, has the highest amount of PhDs per capita?
Wow.
They're like the most educated
really?
group. It's because of UNRWA.
Oh.
UNRWA does heaps of stuff, and they run heaps of schools. So like,
but they're probably doing
it's a very, very high. Well, this what the Israelis say is that the concept of Palestine is taught to them in the schools. And that's why they directly see UNRWA as a threat. UNRWA, by having these schools, which are a problem.
That makes
we wouldn't have a problem. But they didn't know.
I love that. Where you've got like something that's like an indisputable social good.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I talked about this heaps of times. I actually talked about it on stream when me and Alex went to Russia. Oh, wait, no, he didn't come to this. So me and Alex traveled around Russia in like 2016. And we had very different ideas of like what tourism should look like. I wanted to go to museums, and he would literally just say, I'm going to wait outside. And he would wait outside for like 2-3 hours instead of going in the museum.
What the hell was he doing?
I don't know, just watching people walk around. So we would just wait outside of museums. And one of them was the Political History Museum, what it called, Russian Political History Museum, which was in what is it called, Belenskaya Mansion, which is the old Russian ballerina. Her mansion was taken over by the Bolsheviks, and it was their headquarters during the revolution.
Oh, evil.
Yeah, they kicked out just a dancing woman. They kicked her out. They're very anti-women over there. Anyway, so they took over
Pavlova?
this. But anyway, they took over this mansion, and now that mansion that was the Bolshevik headquarters is the Russian Political History Museum.
Cool.
And it's cool. It's cool to be there because you see like where the Bolsheviks were running around. Like some of the rooms they've tried to like preserve and look like how they would have when they were like printing Pravda and like distributing it and giving speeches from the balconies and screaming at workers. It was cool, but the museum's obviously like state run, and they have their own specific like current Russian regime tilt on the Soviet Union. And they had the propaganda in there. One of them, they had like a section about Stalin. And some of the stuff they say was kind of similar to this. They were like, Stalin was, a megalomaniac, dictator, wanting like authoritarian, like full control of the country. And he had a lot of propaganda that he wanted everyone to read. So he took the literacy rate from like 60% to like 99% so people could read his propaganda.
Yeah. He didn't actually care about anything else.
No,
he didn't actually care. He's such a sneaky bastard.
Yeah.
He even, because the thing is, he started doing all this propaganda and he gave it out, and everyone was like, what the hell is this?
What is this?
I don't understand. What am I meant to do? Eat it or whatever? He goes, I know what I have to do. I have to educate them first so that they could read my propaganda.
And if I've spent all this money educating these people to propagandize them, I want them to live as long as possible, or else I have to do it all over again.
Oh my God, that's so annoying. Isn't it annoying when you've spent good 15 years making this guy a good brainwashed Soviet, and then he's at 25. You've got to increase their life expectancy. More bang for your buck.
Yeah. It's so funny. But that is like, the official Russian government line on Stalin. It's like, yeah, sure. There are these standard of living, rises, increases, all these different things that were nice. But yeah, it was done for the wrong reason. Did you go to the Hermitage Museum, the old Winter Palace? Yeah, I went. I appreciate that you enjoyed it. I like the history of the place. I think there's a certain amount of rooms of Renaissance art you can walk through until you're like, okay, how do I get out of here? There's, I don't know, you see Rembrandt or something, like, cool, that's cool. I like that I saw that. And then the next room's like Rembrandt 2. And then like there's like a third Rembrandt room, and then there's like a room of another Italian guy with a similar name.
I think it's cool. The Hermitage was they did a global exhibition of that. That was in Sydney for a while.
Oh, that's right.
And it was going around, and I just found that really cool. Then of like, this is one of the largest collections of Rembrandts and all these 19th century artworks, and it's just like they got it. The Bolsheviks got it when they went into the Winter Palace. It's like that's very, very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, it's because the Russian royal family was just hoarding all this art, like in a secret museum of their own. They're like, who could go in there? No one could see that. But also, there's no need to have that many Rembrandts. Like, one is cool.
I like
2
Rembrandt.
is cool. Then you look at like 50. You're bored.
Well,
you can't look at 50 painters.
That's the problem with art galleries in general.
Yeah.
Is like these really special, amazing pieces lose their significance when it's next to another really amazing special
That's
piece.
why you should have like a table tennis room in between, or just like other, or just some person's art, like my art in there.
I think Rembrandt is the only artist who, when I've gone to an art gallery, I went to the Melbourne Art Gallery and I saw across the room and I was like, oh, that looks like a Rembrandt.
And you were correct.
I said to the person I was next to,
was this a date?
Over, and it was Rembrandt.
Was this a date?
No, it was just with a friend.
Oh,
that's the only time I've ever identified an artist. I was like, oh, that looks like a Rembrandt. And it was Rembrandt.
That was amazing. Anyway, back to the school. So it's kind of nuts. I mean, it's not nuts. It's like they constantly do it. But they, along with people in the school, was 6 UN workers. 6 UNRWA workers. So Palestinian UN workers. So probably just terrorists, right? I think that's the line. Insane. And it's crazy that these like, big international institutions, especially something like the UN, which is like touted by a lot of like right-wing figures as like the secret world government people, and like, they can't do anything.
They can't do anything.
No, Israel will just brazenly UN staff, and they're just like, that's not nice.
Yeah.
Don't do that again another 100 times every single day.
See, I would like the idea of an actual world UN that was actually government. I think that's cool.
I think it depends.
I wish the UN was actually more powerful.
Maybe.
I think that's...
Well, I think if it was more powerful, it would be NATO. It would get all its funding
from
the US.
Yeah, sure. But like, if it was actually just like, one country, one vote as their thing, you get rid of the Security Council with the Big Five, you just have the General Assembly.
That's awesome.
Like, and certain issues are decided. I think that's cool.
One Piece. The hell does that have to do with One Piece?
What the hell are you talking about? Why are you bringing Luffy up?
Yeah, maybe about Yemen. We're busy.
We're busy. We're talking about the news.
So
Don't distract us.
They did that, right? So a dozen Palestinians and a bunch of UN staff. But then they also like 40 people in airstrikes. Again, this is like, what is this? The past day. This is in a day. Oliver just reiterated his demand. It's like, I'll say it again. Don't make me say it again. Israel, I'm going to say it. You should do a ceasefire. There. I did it. It's amazing.
Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Yeah. It's just fucked. Just nonstop. I don't understand what you're meant to do.
The horrible thing as well was just like the debate when it was brought up. Like
everyone's
just like he attacked. Trump attacks her for being like, she hates Israel. She hates Israel. And it's just like, no, she doesn't. The Democrats are completely on board
100%.
with everything. Or if they're not on board, they're completely unwilling to rock the boat.
No.
So they're just letting it go completely. It's just like the discourse about this is just completely removed from reality.
Yeah.
It's just so depressing.
Well, then AIPAC gives them a lot of money.
It was like the previous debate when I think Trump said Joe Biden is a Palestinian as like an insult. Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's so bad.
That's so gross.
Oh. Anyway.
And they didn't even fact check it. Yeah, they fact checked them eating Haitians eating stuff, and they didn't
fact check that Joe Biden's a Palestinian.
I know. They're just like, oh, that's fine.
What? Look at Sudging's face count 5. You shouldn't have told them about this.
No, I want to do it less.
Yeah. Anyway,
they are literally the only country that can do literally anything.
Well,
except for the US. Exactly.
Yeah. And the US can do more of anything because, like, Israel at least, gets some kind of like backlash from certain countries. Like, I don't know.
Well, Israel is accountable to the US.
Yeah.
The US could say, cut this out.
Yeah. If there's enough like public.
But who's going to do that
outrage,
to the US?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had massive protests when they did the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
Like 1 million people. I don't know what it was. It was huge. It was like one of the biggest protests ever.
Don't know
They
if
do what they
anything
want.
happened.
Yeah. They continued that for another 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horrible.